What's going on, guys? This is Lior with Compass out of Boston, and in this video, we're going to talk about renting versus buying around the Boston area. So let's get at it. What's going on, everyone? My name's Lior, and I'm with Compass out of Boston. And in this video, we're going to talk about some of the key differences and actually compare numbers on renting versus buying around the Boston area. Now, before we get into it, two quick things. Number one, if you guys haven't already subscribed to my channel, smash that subscribe button. I put out tons of new videos every single week talking about what it's like to buy, sell, and invest in Boston, different neighborhood overviews, and so much more. So if you haven't already subscribed, smash that subscribe button. And number two, if you guys are even thinking about doing anything with real estate around the Boston area, I get so many calls from you guys watching my videos. So shoot me a call, send me a text, send me an email, because if you have any questions, I will help you out regardless. So let's get into today's content, which is all about renting versus buying in the Boston area. And the way we're going to approach this, we're first going to talk about a couple of typical fears that a lot of buyers, whether they're local or you're moving to Boston from somewhere outside the state, have about actually buying, right? And the first concern, usually more for the people that are moving here from out of state, is, well, I want to buy something, but is it okay if I rent something for a few short months? Do I have any options with that? And the answer is yes. If you're going to be moving out of state, I mean, it's obviously a huge transition, jumping into a brand new state, brand new city. One of the best ways to probably do a short-term rental would be through platforms like Airbnb. Obviously, with the coronavirus and everything that's been going on the last half a year or so, you need to be careful about evaluating your options. But regardless, there's still a good number of short-term rentals that you can find online. Obviously an agent like myself could help you, put together a couple of options as well. But yes, you can certainly do that, which can kind of help your transition smooth in. But some people choose to just buy right away. So it's everyone's kind of doing their own, whatever they're comfortable with. The second thing that I get, one of the bigger fears that I get about buying instead of renting is, well, we all went through the Great Recession in '08. And we all saw real estate values absolutely plummet, right? I mean, a lot of places across the country lost 50 to 70% of value. And, there's obviously been a lot of talk the last couple of years, especially with coronavirus now. Are we in the top of the market? Is there a recession? Is real estate going to take a hit? And here's the answer. I have no idea exactly what's going to happen. But what I do know is Boston has been incredibly economically strong. We have such an amazing diversity of industries here. We've got healthcare, biotech, pharma, tech, finance. I'm probably missing a couple off the top of my head, but there's just so many education. That's the other big one. But there's just so many industries here. That just provide so many really vital jobs that I'm personally one of the believers that I don't think, as long as you buy right and you don't over leverage yourself, right? You don't take on really stupid loans that are super high interest. You don't go, there's obviously a lot more regulations from the lending perspective as well. But as long as you don't over leverage yourself and don't overextend beyond what you're comfortable doing, I'm a big proponent in investing for the long term in Boston. I think it's an absolutely amazing market. And I'm doing so myself, right? I own investment property all around Boston. So I think Boston's going to be an amazing market to own property in for the next 5 to 10 years. And finally, the fear number 3 that I hear from a lot of buyers is the fear of overpaying, right? Especially when you don't know the real estate market. And here's the thing, you're going to have 2 key kind of protective barriers that's going to absolutely help you prevent from overpaying for a property. Number 1, it's going to be your agent, right? So let's say I was helping you buy a house. I'm going to make sure, or any other agent, right? They should help you figure out what is the correct market value of the property, right? They should be able to do an analysis and figure out, look, this property is worth, $500,000. Paying $550,000 doesn't really make sense. You're going to be overpaying. So that's protective barrier number 1. And protective barrier number 2 is you are more than likely going to be taking out a bank loan to finance the transaction. Remember, the bank is actually a partner in the deal because they're the one that providing the most amount of money. So they're also going to be doing an appraisal, right? So if the bank determines through the appraisal that you are overpaying or the deal's not, something's wrong with the property from a financial perspective, they're going to have an issue with it as well, and they're not going to loan on the property. So between your agent and between your bank, you're going to have two really, really strong protective barriers that are going to prevent you from overpaying and paying the true best market value price for the home that you want to buy. Now let's transition over and talk a little bit about down payment, right? Because I think one of the big misconceptions out there is in order to buy a house, you need 20 to 25% down. That's just simply not true. If you're going to be buying a condo or single family, you have access to 5% down conventional programs that can allow you to buy that condo or single family with way less money down. You have access to federal programs, loans like the FHA loan is a great product. You can put down as little as 3.5 to 5% on your property, and that can also apply for 2, 3, or 4 family if you wanted to buy a multifamily. You have state-specific loans for first-time home buyers like mass housing. Again, another great option where you can put down 5% on your first home. So, if you think the down payment is going to be the biggest barrier for you because you can't come up with 20, 25% down, I'll be honest, a lot, for the prices that we have in Boston that are $500,000 to $1 million plus, that's a lot of money, right? So these low down payment options are absolutely amazing, and they allow homeowners to buy homes with pretty limited amounts of money down, which is obviously fantastic. And finally, let's actually do a concrete example of the math on how it shakes out on renting versus buying. So let's say you're going to be looking for a 2-bedroom, and if you're going to buy, you're maybe going to buy around the $500,000 mark range, right? So let's say you buy a $500,000 condo with a 5% down loan. Now, what that means is 5% down, you're going to put down $25,000, and you're going to borrow about $475,000. And in terms of that loan, from $475,000, your monthly principal and interest is going to be roughly $2,000, right? And then you're also going to have to be paying taxes and insurance. Let's call that another $500. And then you're obviously going to have a condo fee if you're going to be buying a condo. Let's throw in an extra $150. So all in all, let's say you're going to be ballpark $2,500 to maybe $2,700 in terms of your monthly payment as a homeowner. Not too bad. Now let's compare that to renting. So in renting, a 2-bedroom, in the neighborhoods where 2-bed condos cost $500,000, your typical rent is somewhere between, usually starts in the low 2s. So 21, 22 is probably on the lower side, and it can go up to 24, 25, 26. So, it's, even though you might be saving a couple $100 on rent, right? Although again, depending on exact location, it might actually be the same or even more expensive. But remember, as a homeowner, you're paying down your loan, you're building up equity, and you're investing into this amazing real estate market in Boston that, again, I think is going to be here for the long term. Is going to continue to grow just because of everything that's going on in Boston. So, the numbers stack up pretty similarly. So why not own a property for basically the same amount of money instead of throwing it to your landlord on rent? So that's the example, guys. So hopefully that all makes sense. Obviously home ownership is a big step. If you guys have any questions, any concerns, any comments, whatever it may be, throw them down below and I will help you out. And guys, like I said, if you are thinking about doing anything with real estate, whether it's buying, selling, investing, whatever it may be, shoot me a call, send me a text, send me an email, whatever, and I will help you out.